Let's get started. Let's actually get started lying down on our belly, which sometimes feels like an odd place to start, but can also be like a little soothing. So I've had people tell me that resting face down, like prone rather than supine, like on your back, like we would traditionally in Shavasana. I've had some clients and some students tell me that laying face down is actually more of a safe sort of place for them to start, a more calming place, a more like place where they can draw in or rest. And so we're gonna just try that on for a second. So if that feels okay, if you need to like take any blankets or anything and place them under your hips, under your belly, please do so. And even if you want to put a blanket or a pillow underneath your forehead, maybe even a block, that can work as well. So just play with it a little bit. We're not going to be here too long, but just something I wanted to start with, shake things up a little bit. You can place one hand on top of the other, place your forehead there as a pillow. That's also an option. And then allow your heels to splay out to either side if that feels good. So you have this like natural sort of like turning inward. If that's not what your body wants to do, just like let your legs flop in a way that feels good. For me, that creates like space in my sacrum, my low back, and that feels good. But of course, everyone is built differently. So once you're here, see if you can just take a big breath in, maybe a sigh out. Slow down the breath. Every inhale is just a little bit bigger. And the exhale a little bit longer. And as you arrive here, just observing the rhythm of your breath. And you close the eyes. To tune in to check in with yourself, maybe. Just observe how you're feeling, maybe where your thoughts want to travel. And without any judgment, just notice them. And again, take a breath in. Long breath out. And take about 2 more like that. So again, notice the breath as it travels in, as it expands. And releases with ease. And maybe as you are here tuning in, drawing inward, you then start to set a little bit of an intention for yourself, or a little, maybe even like a little mantra, right? The fact that you've showed up, To create space in your day, to create space in the breath, space in your body. Sometimes that is like just enough. You're like, I am showing up just as I am, regardless of how that looks like. Maybe your mantra for today is, I am doing my best, and my best is enough. Again, take a breath in. Maybe a sigh out. And when you're ready, maybe start to blink the eyes open. You'll slide your hands for a moment just underneath your shoulders. And then start to take your hands a little bit wider apart. We're going to take a wide Cobra stance, but we're going to move into it slowly. So then I want you to keep your hands where they are, nice and wide, and then start to stack elbows right over your wrists if you can. And then without doing anything else, I want you to just squeeze your shoulder blades closer together. Feel the heads of your shoulders almost lift up off the ground. And then start to tense your hands. So the pads of your fingertips, they touch the ground, and then start to take a breath in here to slowly lift the head. Don't come up all the way. I just want it to be a slow rise. And then as you exhale, come back down. So gentle, so subtle. Take a breath in, lift up. And then a breath out to release. Take one more. This time, I really want you to press the tops of your feet down. So the toes will point straight back. Let the chest rise on the inhale. And then exhale, release. So nice. Now glide the hands underneath the shoulders again. And in your own time, press yourself up to hands and knees, tabletop pose. See your fingers spread nice and wide under your shoulders. And start to find lateral movement side to side. So think about the letter C, this curve. Bring your head from side to side as well. Moving in both directions, right and left. And then land back into neutral, back into tabletop. Take a breath in, drop the belly down, lift the chest, maybe lift the chin, look up slightly if that feels okay. And then exhale, press into your hands, round your upper back, drop your head, maybe even look towards your navel. Do that one more time. Inhale to lift through the chest. And then exhale to round the upper back. And drop the head. So nice. And then come back to neutral. Walk your hands up your thighs. You'll just rise up onto your knees. Sweep the arms out and up overhead. Big breath in to look up. And then exhale, bring your hands together and place them at your heart center here. So your thumbs rest on your sternum. Take a full inhale. Open up your mouth, long exhale. Excellent. And then reach your hands back up, look up, big breath in. And then exhale, hands back through your heart. You'll walk your hands slightly forward, come into a plank pose. So you stay on your knees if you want. And then use your exhale to lower all the way back down to your belly. Take your hands out wide, tent them, think elbows over wrists, wide cobra. Inhale, legs engaged to lift the heart. Maybe a little bit higher this time as we warm up, and then exhale, release to the ground. And then inhale, rise back up through center. Dip your left shoulder forward this time, look over to your right. And then inhale back up through center. Right shoulder forward, look to your left. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to release. So nice. Hands glide back underneath your shoulders, just like before. Hands and knees, tabletop pose, reset the hands. Take a breath in, lift the heart, find cow pose. And then exhale, press into your hands, round your back, drop your head, cat pose. Come back to neutral. This time, send your right leg behind you. And then start to bend your right knee. Snug your right knee behind the left. Take your feet a little bit wider. And then pull your hips back like you were coming into child's pose, but your knees are crossed. Maybe let the head drop down. Be in this shape, just a full breath in. Long sigh out. And then come back forward. Send your right leg behind you just for a moment, and then set your right knee down. And take the other side. Left leg goes behind you. Bend the knee, and then glide it behind the right. Feet go wide. Seat goes back into that cross-legged child's pose. One more big breath in here. Ease on your exhale. And coming back forward, send that left leg behind you and let the left knee come to meet the right. Walk your hands up your thighs, come up onto your knees, sweep the arms out and up. Big breath in, press the palms together overhead. And bring your hands to your heart. Again, take a breath in. Maybe a bigger sigh out. Reach the hands back up overhead, look up. And hands come forward. This time, tuck your toes. Float the knees, hips up and back, downward facing dog. So you can, of course, always keep the knees soft here. I mean, to think about pressing your hands away, and can your tailbone lift up higher towards the sky? Huge inhale. Long exhale. Start to walk your hands back towards your feet, and you can even heel toe your feet a little bit wider. Bend your knees a lot, and then just sway the arms side to side. Just find a little bit of a swaying action, ragdoll pose. And then land in the middle. Slowly rise all the way up to standing. Once you're there, shrug your shoulders as you breathe in. Open your mouth. Let them fall. Sigh out. Sweep the arms out and up overhead. Hands come together. Bring them to your heart center again. So now we're just a little bit higher up off the ground. Take a breath in, chest broad. Open your mouth. Big sigh out. Reach hands overhead on the inhale. Soften your knees, fold forward as you exhale. Halfway lift, big breath in. Walk the hands back forward, downward facing dog. Stay here for a moment. You'll rise up onto your toes and then drop your knees down, tabletop pose. Right into cat-cow, lift your heart, breathe. Round your back, cat pose. Come back to neutral. Walk your hands slightly forward. Come into plank. And then lower all the way onto your belly. Hands out wide, tent them. It's Cobra pose, that wide Cobra lift through the chest. And exhale, release down. Do that one more time. Breathe in, heart rises. And exhale, soften. Place palm over palm. Again, revisit that space. Your hands will stack one on top of the other, right? And then your forehead rests on top of that. Close the eyes. Draw back inward. Soften the legs. So again, let the knees soften. Maybe the heels draw out to either side. Soften the face. Come back to that mantra of, I am doing my best, and my best is enough. But as you continue to maybe repeat that mantra to yourself, as you slow down the breath and return to the awareness of it, just notice what shifts. Full breath in, long exhale out. And you can stay here, of course, if it feels safe, if it feels restful, just stay as long as you need. And if you'd like a little bit more of a stretch, start to blink the eyes open. Slide both hands underneath your shoulders for a moment here. Now, I want you to keep your right hand where it is and take your left arm straight out to the side with your palm facing down. So if you were to make the letter T with your body, your arms out straight out from your shoulders, that would be the case. But we're only just doing half of a T, call it. And your right hand will stay underneath your right shoulder. Now, enter this with ease, right? So approach this with ease as you roll onto your left side here. You need to roll onto the left side of your body. Keep your head heavy if you can. Let it just like drape towards the ground. Now, this might be a lot in your shoulder as a stretch. If it's a little bit too much, just lessen that angle, call it 45 degrees of the arm, right? So the arm comes closer towards your side, or you can just come back onto your belly. It might even just be enough to take your arm out straight to the left. That might be where you stay. You're not here too long. Just take a full breath in. Find ease on your exhale. One more like that. Full inhale. Full exhale. Start to roll back onto your belly, and then you'll switch sides. So your right arm comes straight out from the right, and your left hand underneath your shoulder. And then you get to roll onto your right side this time. Let your head stay heavy here. And take what it is that you need. Maybe you close the eyes even. Stay for 2 breaths. Slow inhale. Ease on your exhale. And you'll come back onto your belly when you're ready. So nice. And just start to roll onto your back. Grab any props that you would like to have for your final rest. Keep them close by. For a moment, take your arms down along your sides, bend your knees, plant your feet, and maybe just windshield wiper the knees side to side. Feel the pelvis start to rock. If this feels okay on your low back, continue to create this rocking sensation. Maybe even bring your hands to your torso as a little bit of a physical like anchor. Sometimes a rocking sensation can be really soothing to our nervous system, to our mind as a result. Take a few more moments just creating that sort of rocking motion. A little bit of gentle twisting. And then land in stillness. I want your knees to just land right where you started. Close your eyes. And observe what happens when you start to find movement and then immediate stillness. Take a big inhale. Open your mouth. Slow exhale. Do that one more time. Inhale, fill up. Open your mouth. Awesome. And so if you'd like to stay just as you are right here to take a little moment of rest on your back, you can. If you want to slide a pillow underneath your legs or your knees, maybe your head, you can do that as well. So be here for a little bit of time and then just do like a guided relaxation here. If you would like to take a seated meditation, like a traditional seat, by all means, you can absolutely take that as well. Begin to get yourself nice and comfortable wherever you've landed. Take a breath in. Remember, you are doing your best. And a breath out. Your breath is enough. Bring your awareness to your toes. To the bottom of your feet. To your ankles. Your calves, your shins, all the way up to your knees. To your hamstrings, to your quad muscles. To your hips. To your belly, your low back, your mid back, your upper back, around to your chest, across your collarbones, your shoulders, your arms, all the way down to your wrists, palms of your hands, the tips of your fingers. Take a breath in, remembering that you're doing your best. And a breath out. Your best is enough. And your breath is also enough. Bring your awareness to the back of your neck, the front of your throat, to your jaw, softening the tongue, softening the cheeks, center of your eyebrows and your forehead. Softening your scalp. The top of your head. Maybe even consider just like energetically softening that little space that exists right above your skin. So like where your skin touches the air, where the air touches your skin. That subtle little space. Take a breath in. I am enough. I am doing my best. Take a breath out. My best is enough. Allow your whole body to stay in this space of intentional rest. In that space where you remember that you are doing your best. That your best is enough. And you continue to repeat that mantra to yourself. When your mind wanders, bring it back to that. Let your body stay in this physical state of rest for a few more moments, but revisit the breath more. You can take just a little bit bigger of a breath in here, just expand a little more. Maybe the lips part and the breath slowly exits. Take a few more rounds like that, a little bit bigger. And maybe as a result of those bigger breaths, you invite in some movement that feels intuitive, just to wake your body up, but do so mindfully. So, what would happen or what would be possible if you were to move even slower than you're accustomed to transitioning and from one activity to the next? What would happen if we did that just a little bit slower? A little more awareness of our physical body. Practice that now. Begin to bend your knees. Maybe roll onto your side if you've been laying on your back. Make your way to a seat. Again, do so mindfully, move slower than you're accustomed to, just as a practice. See what happens. Take a full breath in. Long exhale out. Bring your hands together in front of your heart again. Your thumbs rest on your sternum, but at the same time, see if your sternum can rise to meet your thumbs. Be kind to yourself as you learn to pace yourself. Even learning how to rest is a process. Remember that you're doing your best